I got into a really bad car accident, which like changed my life forever. There was a drunk driver on the way, so we ended up colliding. The next day, I remember the cops coming to me and telling me like, you're a very lucky girl. My car was totaled. And then he's like, this never really happens. It's usually the opposite. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, the drunk driver usually survives and the other person doesn't. And I'm like, what? It didn't hit me right away. And he's like, yeah, he died at the scene. And I was like, it just like really got to me. I was crying, of course, like crazy. So I was like, I'm going to live my life to the fullest.
Welcome to Functional Conversations, brought to you by The Function. I'm your host, DJ Shaky. Today we're at my house.
In your house.
But we have a guest today. Actually, so that's kind of where to start. Now, this is Denise Zavala.
Hi.
What is the alias now? Because before, where should we start? Let's start there.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start there, then we'll back it up again.
Gotcha.
What are you going by now?
Zavala, my
Zavala.
last name.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you came out as D-Nice.
Yes, Miss D-Nice.
Miss D-Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It all started when they randomly asked me to perform. Mm-hmm. Well, when I was drumming, it just happened. It wasn't like a thing that I wanted to be a drummer and stuff.
Right.
And anyway, so my friend saw me play in Miami, and I was like playing along with the congas with a house DJ. And he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you played." I'm like, "Yeah, just for fun." He's like, "Come and play for me in Hollywood. I just opened up a club." I think it was White Lotus, but it was like,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Now we know how long ago that was.
Right. Yeah.
But he's like, "Come through." And then anyway, so we were like talking about it. He was like, "I'll pay you $100." And I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, for fun, whatever." Yeah. And he's like, "What's your nickname, your DJ or whatever?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Oh dang, I didn't even think about that." Right. So in high school, I played softball. They used to call me D-Nice. Okay. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll say D-Nice. But I'm like, let's make it Miss D-Nice, so they know I'm a girl. And then of course you got D-Nice, the DJ. Right. So that's how it started.
So when I first heard of you,
yeah,
and I saw that, I was like, there's already a D-Nice.
Right. No, and it's funny too. People will see like D-Nice on the billboards, like at Playhouse, like, "Oh my God, Denise, you're playing at Playhouse." I'm like, no, that's the real D-Nice. Yeah,
but because like I've grown up in hip hop, so to me, like D-Nice, Boogie Down Productions, that's
for sure.
So then when I started seeing your name popping up here and there, and I was like,
who's this
but
chick?
there's already a D-Nice.
Yeah, no, it was.
And then we became friends later.
It was always a Miss D-Nice, though. I made sure they made the Miss D-Nice, but yeah.
But let's back it up again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the trek
so
over.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first episode that I've shot at home.
Cool.
And making use of the yard. Yeah. Yeah, you were the first also non-DJ.
Okay, I like that.
So
nice.
Appreciate that as well.
All right.
So let's start from the top. I kind of told you what the angle of the show is, but let's tell your story. Like, where do you think your creative journey began?
Oh, wow. It started at a very, very young age. My mom and dad were really into music and stuff. My dad, especially, he played the congas. And then we literally listened to like Santana and Shaka Khan and like all the good funk stuff. But my dad playing the congas just for fun too. He wasn't really like professional, but it was always there. And I was always beating on something. Okay. And finally, my mom and dad got me a drum set when I was like 6 years old. Okay. It was like a Fraggle Rock, old school one. Nice. And I was always making beats, and I just didn't stop doing that. It was like from pots and pans. I was so skinny, I would play on my bones. That's what they tell me, right? And I loved it. And I just remember playing to like Salt and Pepper, like the whole beatbox, like simple, like right, little simple beats and stuff. And that's where it started. And then as it grew up, my dad had some friends that played like oldies. Mm-hmm. They said they played with Richie Valens. I grew up in the Valley, San Fernando Valley. Yeah. So they would come to our house, and then I would have my drum set, and I would play along with them. And it was so much fun. And then from there, I did. So as I grew up along the way, I was just jamming along. And in high school, I was in a band, and not the marching band. Okay. I was like in a rock band. Nice. We played like alternative rock. We did from like Green Day, Nirvana. We did some slow songs too. Our singer in the band, he was like very kind of emo, but like the girls loved him. So we did a lot of like love rock songs. Okay. It was. Was it? So were you the only girl in the band? I was the only girl in the band.
The drummer?
The girl drummer.
That's
they would come to my house. Yeah. I have so many brothers, so many boys, right? Boyfriends. They would come to my house and we'll like set up in my living room and stuff, and we'll rock out after school, especially during summertime. Summer class, they'll come over, and then like I remember my senior year, we performed like a senior showcase, and like we were the performance, and we were the cool band in high school.
So funny.
Yeah.
So what happened with the band in high school?
Oh my God. So for a minute, we thought we were going to make it. We were called Inroad. Shout out to my boys. Inroad, what's up? No, we started doing a lot of covers, and then we did a lot of originals. But I mean, the main guy, he got like a girlfriend, and everybody was like doing their thing. Yeah, after high school. And then just kind of ended there actually when I was just drumming. I never said I was going to like continue. I was like, it was just a fun thing to do.
Right.
And then
so at no point in like high school you were saying, oh, I'm going to be playing music forever.
No, it was just something that we did for fun.
Did you like have jobs in high school?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you do?
I used to work at a clothing store.
Which one?
It's called Fashion Gal. I'm from Sylmar. Yeah. And then I got fired after like 2 weeks because I talked too much, and I was like, I knew everybody that would come in. So I was like, hey, they're like, sorry, we need someone that's going to be, working
selling stuff.
I'm like, well, I did. They're okay.
Yeah, I got people in here.
Yeah, but it was like fine, whatever. Yeah, so that was like literally after high school, and then after that, I got into this program called LA's Best. So I was like a teacher aide kind of for the after school program. Yeah, so I was involved with the kids a lot. I taught them. We had like a dance team, and we did like music stuff, and then baseball, softball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play? Did you play sports?
I did. So in high school, actually I grew up playing softball my whole entire.
Okay.
Yeah, and I played into high school. Like I said, it was just a fun thing too. That was like my thing. It was like high school, and then the band with the.
So when you're in high school,
with the homies.
So when you're still in high school playing music, though, did you already have an idea of what you wanted to do?
Yes. In high school, I wanted to get into radio, television. So like either radio or like journalism was the thing. Like I was already doing like the morning announcements in high school.
So
so I was very comfortable with all that stuff. So that was my thing. And then I went to college after that, and I did all the courses that I had to take. Right. And then once I finished it all, I had to take more classes. I was like, why do I need to do history again?
Yeah.
So so just kind of like, it fell out, and then I ended up getting a really good job after that. So it's kind of just, I got my foot in the door to work for Disney, the Disney Channel. And that's where I saw like, okay, I think this could be my career, but it was kind of like in the paralegal side. So I was in the legal department for Disney Channel. And I was there for about 5 years, and that was like when Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers, like they were all High School Musical and stuff. So like the attorneys I worked for, they were like vice president and executive director. I was their assistant, so I would go and make sure they sign all the contracts and stuff. And it was really, really good. And it's funny that you bring that up, because that was a big part of my life where I actually got back into drumming.
Okay.
So when I was there for Disney, I was about 4 years. Everything was great. I moved to Santa Monica, got my own apartment. Like I was doing well financially, right? And then one night we had a holiday Christmas party, and I was coming back home. I got into a really bad car accident, which like changed my life forever. On my way home, I was like about 10 minutes away from home. And there was a drunk driver on the way. He was already coming on the opposite way of the freeway. So the cops were already like on him. Anyway, I didn't see him. So we ended up colliding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't remember much, but I just remember like having the ambulance, and I just remember I passed out. And then next thing you know, I wake up with my arm broken and all that stuff. And the next day, I remember the cops coming to me and telling me like, you're a very lucky girl. My car was total. They like use the jaws of life. Like it was really bad. And then he's like, this never really happens. It's usually the opposite. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, the drunk driver usually survives and the other person doesn't. And I'm like, what? It didn't hit me right away. And he's like, yeah, he died at the scene. And I was like, it just like really got to me. I was crying, of course, like crazy. Long story short, anyway, that like got to me a lot, because I was like, dude, this really sucks. So I was like, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. So when that happened, I started playing a little bit from my friend asking me to do it, and it was for fun. And it was kind of picking up a little bit, like barely. When that happened, I was like out of work for 3 months and stuff. And I was just home thinking. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to live my life to the fullest, and I'm going to quit Disney and I'm going to drum and I'm going to play.
Awesome.
And that's when it happened.
And here you are now.
And here I am right now. Yeah, man.
So let's break that down then. So you'd been working at Disney for like 4 years. You had an accident, so then you decided to quit.
Yeah.
Then you said you're going to drum. So at this point, you kind of set your mind to it, like, if this is what I'm going to do now.
Yes.
How long before it became something? Like before the first movement happened?
Okay. Yeah. No, it took a minute. So the first time I did it was with the club, right? And it was with house music.
Oh, that was the first one that we mentioned earlier?
Yes. But the first time where they actually asked me, and I was like put on a flyer, right?
Okay.
But it was just the beginning, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I was still having fun with it. Didn't think anything of it. But with that though, it started like I played the first DJ I ever played it was with David Delano. And I was like, oh, that's a cool name. Who's this guy? I Googled him and all that stuff. I was very excited. And I had a small set. I just played with my congas and a cowbell. That was all I had. I was using my hands at the time. And then they would ask me to come back every time. So when I did, I started meeting these other DJs, but it was all house. Finally, I met my boy, Brian Matrix. I don't know if you know him.
I don't know. The name sounds familiar though.
Yeah, he's a producer and was in the house scene from like he was in the scene with like Richard Vision and all that stuff, like Power Tools.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I started playing with him and then he brought me into the conga room. So he's like, hey, conga room had just opened, brand new.
The LA Live one?
The LA Live one, the conga room, yes. So when that happened, I was like, oh shoot, this is like big time. And then I found out like Sheila E. was part of the owner, like and she's like one of my idols, right? So
right, as she should.
Yes, for real. So he brought me to play with him, and it was cool. But then when he brought me, like my name was like literally on their flyer, and I was like, okay, cool. This is like happening, right?
Yeah.
And then he would play hip hop and a little bit of house music, and I was still playing with my hands, mind you, and timbales, but I was like, I need to bring in my snare because I'm playing to hip hop now too, right?
Right.
So then I started building up my set. So I brought my snare and my hi-hat, and I had my timbales. So I started building my little whole set and stuff to play to everything. So when that happened, I think that's when I felt that I was like, okay, cool. Something is growing. It's growing and it's becoming something better. And then I continued and I ended up started my first residency at the conga room, which was cool for me at the time where I was like, okay, good. I could cover my bills with this. Not too bad.
Yeah. So your residency was for how long? It was like how many days? Once a week? Twice a week?
Twice a week.
Okay.
I would do Friday, Saturday, or yeah.
Wow. So then also twice a week and then decent pay that you got bills covered.
Right. From what I'd expected. But prior to that though, I've definitely earned my street cred, not street cred, but I paid my dues for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the house scene and stuff, like, God, I would go to Avalon and play at Bordeaux from like 2 to 6 in the morning.
That's the upstairs room?
That's the upstairs one with Steve Pryor and Jaime Navarez, like really, really cool. And those are my boys. Like they definitely took care of me and made sure.
Were those paid gigs though?
They were paid gigs, yeah, but not a lot though.
Not what you were getting at Conga?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a lot. I mean, I was playing from 2 to 6 in the morning, you know. And
was Conga room like comparable to like almost like your old salary?
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah. Close enough where I'm like, okay, cool. If I do like 2 a week or whatever.
Almost and only twice a week. That's actually pretty good. I wouldn't have even I wouldn't have expected that.
No, I mean through the whole month though. It wasn't
right.
Just
Yeah.
So and then from there, but it definitely opened a lot of doors for me too. So
okay.
Yeah.
How long were you resident at Conga room?
I would say for about like 3 years.
Now, when you say resident, is it specifically because there was a specific nights there, or you were just kind of there playing with whoever was there?
There was a specific night there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would play with Brian a lot, and then from there I play with different DJs and stuff.
Okay. Because they had specific nights there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they would bring me along, and then one really, really cool thing which I always laugh about, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I had the guts. Sheila E. was doing a show, kind of like a supper club before the actual club started.
Yeah.
So my boy, he was like, yo, Sheila E. is doing a casting call for like other musicians and stuff. You should try it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so down. I would love to. So I went, right? And mind you too, like I'm not, I just play with my heart and soul and by ear. I've never taken any lessons, nothing, right? But I kind of know the rhythm a little bit.
Right.
So anyway, so when it was time to get there, there was like these badass like girls. I mean, they play all over the world and all that stuff. And they're like, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this, right? But whatever. I always go for it. It was time to like happen, right? So we had like a certain number to come out, and Shirley hasn't came out yet. But they were like, we're gonna play Tu Sería Cruz. So I've heard it maybe like once or twice, but I kind of like, okay, this is Sería Cruz. Anyway, so they called number 1. I was like number 8, and then I was like getting nervous. Oh man! And finally, right before I got called in, Sheila E. finally comes out, and I'm like, like I'm shitting in my pants, like super nervous and all that stuff. And she's like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody. I'm so excited. You know, like just give me your best and all that stuff." And then right when I was about to go on, I go to the bathroom. And I look in the mirror and I was like, I laugh about this because, you know, like at the movie 8 Mile, when before he goes up and starts to rap, right? And he looks in the mirror and throws water in his face. I was doing one of those. I looked in the mirror and I was like, come on, Denise, you got this. My mouth was so dry. I couldn't even move. And I was like, all of a sudden, like I couldn't hear right, which was bad. It was a hot mess. So finally when I went on to play, like they had me on there too. And I was just like frozen. I like froze and I did whatever. I did okay, but I was like, oh, like, you know, I just didn't feel it. And I was like, can you put it louder, please? And she's like, okay, yeah, stop. Let's put it louder for her. Are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I did whatever I had to do. And she's like, okay, great job. Next, like very short. And I was like, damn, I sucked, right? So anyway, I was like, they're not going to call me back, whatever. And sure enough, they did. They called me back, but to be like the understudy of the main girl. But I was like, cool, still there. I did it.
First time out?
First time out. Obviously, I never got to like perform for the actual show because she was there. But I did play for the after party. And this is what I'm grateful for, even though it's like probably nothing. But she was there and I was playing. She gave me the thumbs up. And I was like, cool.
Nice.
Best thing. So Conga Room, I love the Conga Room. They really, really brought a lot out of me. Like, you know, they took me out of my shell just to do things I never, you know, could have imagined. Shout out to, to everybody over there. So
if you're an understudy, are you paid for that already?
They actually paid me. Yeah, they paid me to.
So you're paid to be on call type of thing?
Yeah, they paid me to make it to like the rehearsals and stuff, which is cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
So you make the rehearsals and then are you kind of like locked down to not do anything else just in case sort of thing?
There was no contract or anything like that. Yeah.
So then what came after that?
So after that, I was, you know, playing more, now started doing more like, you know, like open format stuff. Have you ever heard of Red Cup Sundays?
Yes. Been a couple times?
Yeah.
So you played at Red Cup then?
Yes. I was actually there when it first started. So throughout the years being at the Conga Room and playing a little bit here and there and stuff, I met Gumby, Frank Cortez, the homie. And then he was like, yo, come and play at Red Cup. And I was like, for sure. So, so that was actually a really, really big, a big thing for me too, because I played there every Sunday for like the first 3 years that they had it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's probably where I'd seen you first.
Probably, yeah. That's where Misty Nice actually probably got the most notice. And that's when I got to meet more DJs too. And I mean, everybody played there. Everybody from like the real, like every LA DJ that you can think of, from Vice, Richard Vision. I mean, DJ Twist.
I was there with I'd never actually done it, but because I didn't know anybody who put it on. Okay. But I had gone along with Chalk when he was doing it.
Yes.
Like when the Beat Junkies were there.
Yeah.
And then there was one other time I just happened to be there.
And the vibe there was so cool.
Yeah.
It was the best. I mean, they played everything. I miss those days. Like it was all types of genres in one rooftop, like in one house from like
and it was kind of like that time was coming off of like the do-over kind of getting super popular.
Right.
And it was like a daytime thing, but it also had like commercial music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I preferred the do-over because at the time the music was a little more eclectic.
True.
And a little deeper. But Red Cup kind of had that, but also the commercial stuff.
Yeah.
So being at Red Cup every week then, and you met a lot of DJs, Red Cup's paying you once a week, right?
Yes.
And you never went back to a regular job though. Was this point you're just straight drumming?
Right. Yeah. I was straight drumming only. And then of course I was doing other gigs, besides
Outside
that.
of your weeklies, you would get random
For
gigs
sure.
here and there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Like I would be at Congo, or I would do like something else. Or I was always at Bardot and Avalon doing all that, a little piece of here. Yeah.
How many nights a week or how many days a week would you be playing?
In the beginning, at least 3 to 2 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was my thing. And then what else?
So out of Red Cup, I guess, is where I cut you off. But like, out of Red Cup, what was the first
out of Red
there?
Cup? I mean, I've had, and then I started getting more involved with the Inland Empire, like Pomona, like all that side.
Okay.
I'm from San Fernando Valley. So.
Right. So that's a trek.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started kind of getting out there more too. So that's when I started, meeting more people out there, which was really cool too. I definitely made a name out there and met so many cool, like dope DJs. And mind you too, like at that time too, it's all the DJs like I respect, right? So it's like for them to let me play with them, it was always like a big deal for me. Like, okay, cool. And some DJs didn't like it either too. So I was like, oh, okay.
Do you get a feeling of when the DJs
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. They could just be like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I could totally tell when they're not happy to have a drummer, or they don't know, or they're like, oh, she's a girl. Like, how good is she? Or whatever, you know, all that stuff. So I get that a lot. I look, they underestimate me playing with them. One, because I'm a female, and then they never heard me before or whatever. So yeah, and when that happens, I actually like it. I'm like, all right, cool. Just give me a couple seconds.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah. And a lot of your sets are pretty much just kind of freestyling.
It's always freestyling. But at the beginning though, too, I remember I was the annoying drummer though for a minute. Of course, like the more you play, the better you get, you know? So I would remember being so loud and obnoxious. I remember this one DJ's like, she's overpowering me. She's too loud. And I'm like, well, I was trying to let people know that I'm here.
Right.
And then finally I was like, okay, no, I get it. I got to like balance it out, and so now I'm like really good at when it comes to like sharing the stage, balancing, not being too much and stuff. But yeah, you just get better and better as you go. But I was annoying a little bit in the very beginning.
Okay. All right. I mean, look, you call yourself out.
But they still kept on calling me back.
Yeah.
So, so it was not that bad.
I mean, look, obviously it's enough of an attraction.
For sure.
People get there and it just adds something to it, right? So,
it does, yeah.
So those IE and the East, Super East parties, like how did that come out? You said you started doing a lot more over there? Yeah,
I did.
And those are all through just people you'd met at other gigs?
Yeah, just other people, other DJs that invite me to come and play with them and stuff. And so it's always been like literally from seeing me playing from there, and I would just connect to other people, which is really awesome.
So everything's super organic.
Super organic, for
and
sure.
Have you had a management or agency at any point?
I had one at one point, not an agency, but a management too.
Okay.
And it was cool. I mean, like it didn't really go anywhere. But it was good to always like have someone and like, and represent you and stuff. But eventually nothing bad happened. It just never really continued. Yeah. So, and then I just ended up just doing it myself. Through all that happening too, I met some other musicians as well, some other female musicians and DJs along the way, and meeting this other violinist. Her name was Esther Anaya, and then DJ Stephanie Loaiza. We met, actually met Esther at a private event. I think it was like a bat mitzvah at that time. So I was really like kind of getting into more in private stuff.
Okay.
So I meet Esther, and then she's like, oh my God, I haven't seen this before. We should do something. I have a DJ named Stephanie. So we're like, cool, let's get together. So the three of us got together and we were like this girl group. And then, so we started doing more things and stuff and playing at Luna. Like we'd play there like once a month. We did the conga room. So we started kind of getting, known. And then at one point we were like, this is like really, really cool. And I have a sister, my younger sister, Tiffany. She's a singer. And we're like, why don't we invite her to come and, do some vocals? And she did. We were doing like live mashups. It was so dope. She would sing over a song, or we would like remake it, and like
That's dope.
Yeah. So we did. So we were together for about 3 years, and we were doing really well. We were doing a lot of like festivals, and we would go to Mexico. We did like the LA Pride. That was probably the biggest ones, and then clubs around Hollywood. And at that time, we did have a manager. We had a management. Yeah. And we wanted to be like the next like Spice Girls, but like the electronic version of it, you know? Yeah. And so it was really fun, really, really dope. And then it just got difficult when it was time to do original stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody had their own vision and different ideas. So, you know, kind of clashed a little bit. Nothing really, really bad. It's just we weren't able to, you know, be on the same page. And then, yeah, man, we were going to be signed to 360. I believe that was Calvin Harris's label at the time.
So someone was doing production and everything for you guys?
Well, yeah, we had met a couple of producers. I mean, we were in the studio making some stuff too, but also too, like, it was very hard for them to figure out what we wanted to do at that time, like the sound.
Yeah. You almost have to figure out a live element and how to put that down. Yeah.
And you know what makes me so sad? Because I'm like, if we would have stuck with it, because there's a lot of that now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 2013 between 2013 and 2015.
Well, even people like Zed has like a live component to his shows now.
I mean, like when Disclosure and all them too. It's just like, we loved them. But so we had some good moments. We did like a couple videos and stuff. And
okay, are they out in the world?
It's on YouTube. We were called Envida. We were all Latinas.
Look that up.
Yeah, Envida.
Put a link below.
I know, it's cool. No, but it was dope. We had my sister was Mexican, the DJ was Peruvian, the violinist was Colombian. So we were like the Latinas and stuff. Yeah. So it was fun.
But different kinds.
Yeah, but different kinds.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So anyway, then I ventured into that. You know, we the DJ and the violinist, we went overseas for 2 summers in a row. And that was like the highlight of my life. That's when I discovered like music more. Like, I mean, it made me love music more than anything, because it was like the first time I got to travel and meet people from all over the world and connect with them.
Who's funding these trips? Is it like, you're not signed yet though, right? Or
no. They paid for it. Whoever, it was kind of like a cruise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a cruise, so they paid for it, which is awesome.
So you're performing on a cruise line?
Not a cruise line. It was more like this huge yacht. It was a big, yeah.
They kind of would go out every once in a while.
Yeah, so we would literally
like a party cruise.
Yeah, and it was like from Greece all the way to France, Greece, Italy, France, and then we'll come back. Like it was, so it was amazing. Yeah.
But how many people are on there?
I would say probably like 50 people.
Okay.
But then it was like a time too where I discovered like people would switch every time.
Okay, yeah.
It was like a season, right, during the summer. So everybody would come across. It was like a thing they did. It was pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
Fun. It was super fun. I met people from everywhere, from like, Russia, Brazil, and it was really fun too, because like they would barely speak any English, but we connected through music. It was, it was the best feeling. I mean, I'm still friends with them today.
So
and
social media.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I actually had some friends that were from Dubai that were American too, that I'm like really close to. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have meet people through music from all over the world.
About what year is this?
This was 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when was it fully done with that group? Was it like when you were making the music?
When we were making the music, yeah. So I would say 2016-ish, we kind of just like went our separate ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happened after that?
So then after that, I went back to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the stuff we talk about here.
Yeah.
So you went back to work. What did you do going back to work?
I went back to Disney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like being a musician, I'm sure too, for everybody, DJs and all that stuff, there's like highs and lows. You're like on fire for like, 3 months. All of a sudden it's like crickets.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, what do I do? So when that happened, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's my time. Let me get back to work. We were all pretty bummed, but we were like, cool. And I was like, okay, Denise, get back to reality a little bit, And I loved working for
Well, how many years had it been since your car accident to going back?
Yeah, let me see. About a good 5 years.
5 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How was it going back? Was there just a position available, or just like luckily at the time there was a position available?
No, I definitely knew how to get my foot in the door for sure. Through the temp agency.
Oh, okay.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. So Anyway, so I did that. And of course, I did always kept my connections.
Okay.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, like I've always made connections with people and like always stay connected with them. And they would always tell me to, you're always welcome to come back and whatever, all that good stuff. So anyways, I got back into Disney and there was a position available for a temp position for three months to hire. So I got my foot in the door and it was Disney Imagineering, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, it's where they build and they design all.
I'm familiar. But
you're familiar.
I'm a nerd, but you know.
Yeah. Oh my God. When people tell me, when I tell them like I worked for Imagineer, they're like, oh my God, it's crazy. Like it's a dream job for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So the Imagineering is where they design all the rides and the hotels, everything that creative about Disney. That's where it's built at. Mm-hmm. And it's in Glendale. Yeah. And so it was for an assistant for the one of the executives. He was a what was his title? He was one of the engineers, and then the other one was marketing. Imagineers. Sorry, yes, sorry, Disney fans. Yeah. So then I worked. I was temping for them, and then and then I'm a very good assistant, and I feel like I remember when I started there, I was getting used to getting back, and I was a little bit nervous too. I haven't had conversations with adults in a while, right? It was like, hey, what's up? Like, you're just talking to DJs and, yo, what up? Like you don't even know the real names, and now I'm like,
that's
hey there,
funny.
hi Smith, or like,
yeah.
Hey there, Karen and Kimberly, how are you today? Like my voice totally changed. It was perfect.
Yeah.
But it was a nice change. It was a nice change. I felt more responsible, like, okay, cool, I'm doing like adult things, even though like I was fine, but I mean, we were partying and playing at the time, right? Yeah. So this time I was like, cool, I was getting like, insurance, and I was getting like starting my 401k, like all the good stuff. And I was like, okay, good. So I went back to work and I was there, and finally they hired me after 3 months, which was really, really cool. And then from there, I started growing into getting involved with other stuff. I was doing a podcast, like I was a host for one of the Disney podcasts there. Oh, wow. Started working with the actual writers. When I got hired, I became one of the assistants too for that. So it was a really, really cool hands-on stuff. But at a point though, I'm not a Disney fanatic, like how all the other employees are like interns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're hardcore, like literally hardcore. Like they live and bleed, like Disney all the time, right? And for working for Disney, you get your perks, right? Yeah. So you get to go in for free plus 3, which was amazing. I love that. But they would go like literally every other day or whenever they could. Anyway, so during that time, I was still playing. I was still playing.
I was about to ask you that, but okay.
Yeah. So I went back to work and I was still playing though, but I started getting into more private events, which was really, really cool. Private and corporate stuff.
Okay. How are you booking those private and corporate events?
So, through Instagram and all that, I met an event planner. She actually opened the doors for me too. And there was a couple of event planners that saw me on Instagram. So Instagram's amazing. They would see me on there and DM me, oh my God, are you available? Do you do private stuff? And I'm like, yes, of course. Yeah.
I have you on my price sheet.
All right, my boy.
Not by name, but it's musicians. But in my head, I know who. Like,
Thank you.
This is the
Way
person.
To look out.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Dope.
Yeah,
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I started doing a lot of stuff like that, and then shout out to my girl, wife of the party, Lorianne, and it's always like, hey, are you available to play? And like, yes, always like, I definitely throughout the years, I definitely like showed my respect to, and also like would hook them up because they hooked me up. So it's always like one of those things where like, cool, we look out after each other and stuff. I think that's so important especially when they help you, bring you up and stuff. So it's like, I'm always looking out for that. So
she's like, is it specifically her, or she's one of the ones that would book you?
She was one of the ones that started booking me a lot and actually got me more into like the Hollywood corporate private scene stuff. But yes. And then, so I remember working at Disney, she would book me and she was doing like, this is when Pretty Little Things started coming out. Yeah. So she would book me to play for their parties. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I would, and it was during the weekday. Like I started playing like Wednesday nights, Thursday nights with her. And then, but she's like, can you come and set up like before? And I was like, okay, cool. So I would go during my lunch break, go set up, and then, come back to work, finish work, go home, change, and then show up at the party. And I would play till like 12, 1 o'clock, and then go to work the next day. Yeah.
That's like a young person.
Yes. Oh, I did it like nothing. I would show up to work the next morning, I'm here. And I loved it though. I love being busy, especially when the money's good too. You're like, woo, let's go.
Yeah.
But I like being busy. I like being on the go.
Yeah.
So it was really a good time for sure. It was a good run until I started getting booked a lot more though now after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still through the same person?
No.
Okay.
Now,
just more and more people at this point.
More different other event planners. I started doing weddings in 2018. So bigger, more corporate stuff, bigger, more parties. And then the weddings came through. I got DM'd by a Persian DJ, my boy DJ Seppi. He was the best. Anyway, so he brought me into the Persian scene for weddings, and it was so much fun.
At this point though, like the way I see it, since high school, you'd mainly been playing with DJs.
Always.
And that's just kind of like, that's just become your thing.
Yeah. It was just me and the DJs for sure. Yeah. It was just a thing. And then I felt the most comfortable too. And also too, because it was new, people liked it.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like the DJ with the live aspect, it was growing. But there was other drummers as well too. But not female. And in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
There's so many female DJs. Drummers, but not playing in LA like how.
Yeah. And I don't see too many people like specifically just playing with DJs. I think the only time I had really played with the drummer was I was booked for somebody's birthday party. They were like high school, college kids or whatever. And the girl whose birthday it was, her brother was a drummer. And they were like, can he like play along with you?
Yeah.
Kind of. Because I think at that time, Travis and AM, Recipes AM, they were doing their thing. Yeah. So then these kids were younger than me and they were like, hey, can he play along with you? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I met up with them once just to kind of practice it out. And he was like on live drums, like
that's dope.
Like just a full drum kit.
Yeah, I would practice with some DJs too. It was always a fun thing to do.
So as you started booking more like weddings and corporate events, how long were you still working at Disney?
So I started 2016 and then I went until 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So solid 3 years. And then but you were playing the whole time.
Yeah, I was playing the whole time. And then around 2018, I was traveling a little bit more. And my bosses were super cool. They're like, yeah, go ahead. I was able to work from wherever I went to remotely. Yeah. And, but then I remember I got asked to play in Japan for the first time and I couldn't go. And I was like, damn it, whatever. Uh-oh. Yeah. So they kind of got to me, but I was like, whatever, it's going to happen. And then, as the years went though, I just felt I was getting more busier and I was like, maybe I could do something, and it kind of came back to where okay, I'm loving it. Let me see what I can do if I'm more full time. And I was like, what I'm making, it was good money too. I was like, maybe, okay, I could kind of go, I probably don't have to work if I quit. Anyway, and at that time too, I was getting so involved with my music. I kind of lost myself at being at work at Disney. I was already my headspace was what's next? Where am I going to go to? And I was literally doing my invoices at work and contracts at work at Disney, which was right.
Done it.
And also too, my bosses were the best. And I just felt like I wasn't giving them my full potential. But then I was like, let me do it now. I still can, and I got a big opportunity to travel for 2 weeks and stuff. And I was like, let me do it. And so then I did it and I came back and I just had this I was tossing and turning. Should I quit? Should I not quit? Should I do it? Da, da, da. And I finally had the balls and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to quit. And so it happened September 2019 is when I quit. And yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. I literally, the week I quit, I went to travel. I was doing stuff in I went to Denver, Colorado. I went to Mexico. I went to, here. And
this is all still just word of mouth and people you meet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's been a blessing, man. And so then, all that happened and everything was going smooth. And then all of a sudden, our favorite COVID came through.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, what did I do?
I could see how, that timing sucked.
I was like, what? Literally my calendar and all the weddings, everything just wiped out. And I was like, no.
Yep. We all know that.
Right? Yeah, man. Slap in the face. And I was like, shit.
My personal thing, I had not DJing, but I had video work in Valley.
Oh.
And it was literally that March.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And it was supposed to happen like 2 weeks.
And was that going to be your first time going to Bali?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my on my list. Dang, that stinks.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Anyways. But that was
happen.
that.
It'll come back.
Yeah,
It'll come
we'll
back.
see. Or we'll just go.
Just go, exactly.
When we do this full band thing.
Exactly. Bali first.
Yeah. We'll put on a show out there.
So down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
how did you make it through that?
So when it happened, I was like, geez, man, what am I going to do? And at that time, like, I'm close friends with my, DJs. Like, my best friends are DJs and producers or whatever. And I was still connected with my boy, Brian Matrix, and he was actually teaching. He had a production school in downtown LA. So every time we would always go and we were there all the time anyway. But during COVID, we were there the most. So we're like, cool, let's, come over, let's work on some stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's when I started getting into more like actually getting on some tracks with him and more on production side. I took a little bit of Ableton classes and all that with him. And then that's when Jenna, she had just gotten back from New York too. So Jenna Red, but okay, she's Jenna
Just
now.
Jenna now.
Just Jenna now, yes.
Yeah, I pieced that together when I started seeing everything.
Jena.
Yeah.
And N-A, 2 N's.
Yeah.
My girl. So we were always together all the time. And so slowly but surely, I think that's when the live stream
and that's how we met.
was happening. Exactly.
Jenna hit me up. She's like, yo, help us out. I was like, yeah, I've been doing it.
What do we do? How do we do this?
Yeah, I've been doing it. Well, I'll show you how.
Yeah. So we kind of started getting into that. And then, but during that time, I had got hacked on Instagram. Yes. So when that happened, I lost my name, Misty Nice. They took it. So like I lost all my stuff. And I was like, oh shoot, like Misty Nice, like it's happening and all that stuff. And I was bummed out. And then at that time I was with Brian Matrix and stuff, and we were doing more house music. And then I just felt like, I was like, okay, maybe I should just, I don't have my name anymore. I'll just change it up and stuff. And and I just felt like, it was like, what if I just go by my last name? I love my last name, Zavala, right? It sounds more international, like house vibes, right? Versus, it doesn't go with the, Misty Nice was like open format, but more like hip hop and all that stuff. But Zavala was like a whole new version. Like I was like, Zavala House, grown international, whatever.
And then and what we were talking about at the beginning, at this point, was when D-Nice started getting known outside of hip hop.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
With all of his live streaming.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's timing for you.
So it was perfect timing. Yeah. I was like, all right, D-Nice, I'll let you have it.
Right.
No, yeah, right. He probably took my name away.
It was probably him that hacked you.
That hacked me.
He was like, oh, no, we can't have this right now.
Like, nah, girl, it ain't gonna happen.
He said, you know who I am?
Yeah, right. He probably doesn't know who I am. So funny. Hey, but you never know.
He probably does. He's been around LA.
No, I've met him before, but it was like very quick. Though it wasn't like I wasn't like, oh, I'm Misty Nice. No, I would never have done that. He would have been like, what?
Was it on purpose? It just came out that way.
It just came out. I'm like, what happened? Yeah. So anyway, I got hacked, and then I was like, you know what? I'm like, should I be Zavala or should I do something else or Z? And then so I changed it to Zavala. Zavala, my last name, which was cool. And then I was like, cool, new transition, and it's been that now ever since during COVID.
So how'd you make it through COVID then?
Okay, so nobody was, we weren't allowed to play anywhere. So I wasn't making any money. Actually, no, because I had just left Disney. I was getting unemployment, thank goodness, for a little bit. So that helped, thank God. And then, of course, your stimulus checks came through.
Okay.
A little bit after.
You were on unemployment before everyone else was. So you kind of were already...
No, I didn't ask for it until COVID happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I was surprised I still got it because I had quit.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask any questions. Like, cool, thank you, I'll take it.
So I had actually gotten laid off like about a month before everything shut down.
Oh shit.
So I just got into the system. So I didn't have, like, once everything shut down, I was like, well, I'm already getting this. So
thank God, right? Yeah.
And then it's like, but now I can't get anything else.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's true. But I was able to obviously.
But I survived. And I don't know how it worked for you, but for me, like, obviously there was still some limited bits of work. So on the video side, not the DJ side.
Okay. Yeah.
But on the video side, there was there was bits of work that would come in where I would get an unemployment check, I would get a stimulus check, and then one big project that paid for like a month or two. Nice. Right. And then so on.
So
same thing. And then another
during
one.
COVID.
Not balling, but I survived.
You survived. Yeah.
I survived fairly easily.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say like the first few months it was tough, and then after that, like it was good. So then LA wasn't booking at all, no private stuff at all, and then I made one of my friends. He invited me to come and play out to San Diego. San Diego was actually, they weren't as strict out there. They're by the beach, so it was more like open rooftop vibes and stuff. So then I slowly started playing there, and I played there at Firehouse. Yes. So, and it was like a rooftop thing, but nobody could dance. It was very funny. There was like so many rules there. Yeah.
I can imagine. But okay. Still California.
Yeah. So it was funny. So I would go out there and they're like, yeah, can you come out? We'll just put you inside. We had to wear a mask, but when I was playing, I was able to take it off. And nobody, people were like, the seats were separated. It was so funny, but it worked. And then eventually by like 3 hours into it, people were dancing so close together, and yeah. So I would go out there. I started going out there a lot, maybe like once or twice a month, maybe. So that was like a nice little like extra check to come through. And then, that was the only income. But then after I was talking to my girl, Jenna, the DJ, and I was like, we're watching all these viral stuff, especially Angie V doing her thing. We're like, oh, cool. Like, oh, what's Twitch? And then I saw, Bella Fiasco doing it. Like all my female friends were just killing it. And I was like, let's try it. But I was like, how can we link my drums into it? It was going to be a harder thing. So I bought like electric drum set so we could plug in. And that's when we called you to come and help us.
Right.
And then I had my studio at my house and I had bad internet service. I don't think it worked out really well.
The internet wasn't happening.
It wasn't working. Yeah, no, we had the idea. It just never fell through. But I think we slowly started getting into more playing stuff. So, but
then once everything opened, you and Jen were playing a lot together.
Yeah, we started playing a lot together after that.
Dope.
Yeah. And then we got booked in San Diego a lot. That's when I kind of started going out to San Diego the most. Yeah.
So once everything opened, how's that bounce back happen? Was it pretty quick?
It was pretty quick, especially with the weddings and all that, the private stuff. Mm-hmm. They were like on it. Like literally when COVID was kind of like a little bit over, everybody wanted to have a party somehow.
Yeah. Right? Literally the first week I had like 5 gigs.
Yeah.
The first week ever.
It was like freedom, let's celebrate. People's weddings got canceled. They were trying to make it, to whatever date was available and stuff. So it was just like party after party after party after party.
How many?
So it was really cool.
How many private event companies are booking you?
At that time, so now from them, it's probably like five to six.
5, 6 different companies?
Yeah, different companies. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. So it was so it was literally like a make it to break it, but I think it probably made me the busiest during COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And you stay busy now.
And I stay busy now. Yeah.
I know. So the recent thing I just saw your stuff. You were out in Dubai.
Yeah.
That's through people you met again through DJing.
It's and also through other musicians too. Like when doing the big corporate stuff and also in San Diego, like we were doing, I met other musicians playing along with them and they would invite me to play somewhere. Or I would, invite them, I would connect them with other people too. So it was always just like the love with other musicians and DJs, like we'll just connect with each other. And, but the Dubai thing, I met this trombone player, my boy Wayne. He's amazing. He's out in Florida. And I was playing with my other buddy. We did a music festival in San Diego. And anyway, so we played together. So I made really good friends with the musicians. And then the musician, he was already traveling. And he's like, he called me out of nowhere. And he's like, hey, he's like, what are you doing for New Year's? I'm like, no plans. He's like, do you want to come to Dubai? We need a percussionist. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hold on, let me check. I'm open.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, where do I sign up? Yeah, and it was so dope. And it was the end of COVID, but still, like, we had to get tested before we went. Yeah. So we were dealing with the whole mask thing, like all that stuff. So yeah, that year, it was 2022 New Year's Eve is when I got my way to Dubai. Yeah, and It's just been amazing.
So now that you're not working a corporate job,
that's right,
and you're solely just playing music, you're drumming, and how often are you working?
At least 3 to 2 times a week.
2 to 3 times a week. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I know when you were working, you had like retirement plans, health insurance. How are you navigating all that nowadays?
Obviously, I don't have like the 401k happening. I do have insurance. I started, with Medi-Cal first, and now I got Blue Cross. That's right.
So the 401k though, can't you still kind of contribute to your 401k?
You can, yeah. But it doesn't. It can't grow unless you're actually part of a company or something like that, right? Or unless you're putting money into that. But
you got to put money into it. But I actually have someone for that. If you,
okay,
yeah.
Well, yeah. It's so funny because I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I'm like, what's my plan?
Yeah. Like, what is the plan? Like, have you thought of one? Thinking of it?
Yeah, right now I'm doing what I love. Like I said, I'm living my life to fullest. I'm doing what I love, but also too, it's like I need to come to reality. Like, okay, like what's gonna, of course, I can't do this forever, right? I mean, I can, but
you have to
there's a limit.
You have to more for like transition it.
Yeah,
it can still be something, right?
For sure, but I don't want it to be. It's not. It was never like a career for me. It's just something that just continues to happen, and it grows, and it just isn't. My phone doesn't stop ringing, and I'll take every opportunity that comes my way. Like that's like my blessing, right? To be alive today. So it was like, but then also too, I'm like, no, I need to have like something like plan B, whatever. So I am trying to figure out what that is at the moment. And
it seems like you get back into Disney pretty easy.
I know, right? Maybe I could be a drummer at Disney. No.
On the parade?
On the parade.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
That's funny. No, but I love business, music business too. Like I've, always been, working in corporate world, and I love all of that too. So I'm definitely thinking of probably getting into something like that, but it has to be with entertainment. And it could also, like lately too, I have started getting into a little bit of hosting, but not like I did a dance competition. I did like an opening for a baseball park, but just hosting the whole event and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm going to do another one. I'm doing like this big conference that they saw me, hosting the event. So I'll be hosting this actual conference, and which pays really well too. So that's something too. I'm like, okay, I like this. And they also, travel and all that. So
camera stuff. All right.
Yeah, but it's like usually like hosting an actual like,
yeah.
But also too, I would love to do that. So yeah, I'm definitely, taking every opportunity that comes my way, but I'm trying to figure out though, like what I really want to get into.
So, but you do have health insurance?
I do have health insurance. Yes, I do. I didn't for a while though. I didn't at all. I probably didn't get it until during COVID.
It's like,
like when I quit Disney, I didn't have insurance at all.
Yeah. This is a crazy time. Maybe I should have some health insurance just in case.
I'm like, yeah, I didn't have it for a minute, and then what is it called? California.
Cover California.
Cover California came through. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I switched to, and
yes, and it's a great deal. It's good. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I had to use it once, but that's so.
Yeah.
When you're booking, did you make yourself like a company and everything too? Like, are you an LLC? So you book through your.
Yeah, I did. I didn't do an official LLC though, but I do have.
Like DBA?
Yeah, like I have my contracts and stuff under my name.
Okay.
Under my name, yeah. And everything goes through my Zelle. I do make my taxes. I do all that stuff too. Yeah. I do my best to try to get a lot of tax write-offs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they'll get you.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, it's true though. But I'm always buying everything. I put from like my mileage to wardrobe to my
that all counts.
Everything counts. My my instruments, my all that equipment. Yeah, so I do my very best to get that, and it's not too bad. Yeah.
So you're busy now, but do you ever still have times where like, oh, shit, where's the next check coming this week or this month?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, being a musician, and I'm sure DJs too, but it's always like you have your highs and lows. Like summertime, I'll be like on fire for like whatever. And then like winter, I'm usually so like January, February is like crickets.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, okay, what can I do? And
so at this point, do you kind of know when the slow season's coming?
I do. Okay. Yeah. And then I find myself like, I find ways to make some extra little stuff too. But also it's like something that you have to prepare yourself as well. Yeah. So throughout the years, I learned the hard way, and I learned like good ways too. It's a musician. It's always like, it's tough. Like you have your highs and lows, and you got to be, wait it out, be patient. But then also too, when you're not busy, you kind of like, that's where you kind of like get out of your comfort zone and, get into other things or like, look at other opportunities of what you want to get into. So,
I mean, I would ask like, well, what were you going to do? But you did. You went back to a job.
Yeah.
So that's almost like you already answered it, and it's like an easy. It's like, well, back to work.
Back to work. Yeah.
Back to reality, but not reality.
Like,
back to this other reality.
Right. Back to the real reality. For
the
real.
other reality.
Back to the
That's
9 to 5. Yeah. And we're so lucky and blessed to do what we do. Like we get to perform and get paid really well for doing what we love. And sometimes too, like I got to remind myself, like when I'm like, I get so tired, or I'm like, oh, I'm doing the same thing again. And I'm like, Denise, shut up. Like, you're lucky to be doing this, because some people, they work so hard and they're really whatever. I'm not putting them down, but I'm saying like we're very lucky for what we get to do, and I never take that for granted. So it's like, yeah, especially when all that happened to me. So it's just like, I'm like, okay, God, whatever doors you open for me, I'm gonna take them, and then when it stops, it's gonna stop. So it's still going, and very grateful for that. But yeah, I think slowly though, I think I'm looking for something to kind of not have to rely on all that and on just strumming. Yeah. On the music side.
Thinking of going back to a job.
Yeah. But something that I like though, something I love. Like I have to love it. Yeah. So the good thing is that I don't have to, but I want to, and I think it's going to benefit me, but I want to love it though. So I'm like, I'm in a new journey, not to figure out what that is.
You can be selective.
Selective. Yeah. It's so cool too. Yeah.
So without being overly cliche, or maybe cliche if you have to.
Yeah.
What are words you could share with people who are trying to essentially just make a living as a musician making music or whatever it is?
I would say put yourself out there as much as possible, especially if you're beginning. Don't expect to ask for so much money at the moment. Like you need to put yourself out there, let people see you, do a lot of content, offer your time, and someone will see you, and then actually that's how it'll grow. So just definitely put yourself out there. Don't give up. Be smart about where you want to put your time into. Yeah, and just keep on practicing. But also too, like I think throughout the times too, like it was always word of mouth for me. And then I was always, I always made sure too to kind of like be in the scene so people could see me. Because if you're not out there, they're not going to know who you are. And the main thing was making good connections with people. So when, because I have a lot of good connections with the people where I think I do, they would always think of me. So if you're starting, make sure you're in the scene and stuff, and shake a lot of hands, plant your seeds, let them know what you're doing, and then hopefully they'll book you. But just make good connections and plant your seeds. So, for sure.
Seems to be working for you.
I mean, yeah, no, it's been great. Like when I got invited to go play to Dubai too. Like I went on Instagram too, and I was like, okay, house music DJ Dubai. So I found these other things, and I liked this one thing, and I just put dope, and then he responded to me, and the next thing you know, I'm like a residency for the new for the restaurant. Yeah, I'm going to go in Dubai.
Yeah, when I saw your page, I was looking, I was like, oh wow,
Oh my God, I love it out there. No, it's so fun, man. It's amazing because and they really respect artists out there. The musicians, and artists, and dancers.
I've heard
they are just to the T. They're amazing. They're from Russia, Ukraine, Colombians, Brazilians. I mean, they're from everywhere. And
Silmar
from the 818. Exactly, literally everywhere.
Yep. But yeah, thank you for coming out, making a little trek.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This is so much fun. I haven't talked about myself in a long time. So it's weird.
It's all right. We're sharing the stories.
I'm all, dang, I go way back, but it's good. It's good to
it's survival.
Rundown.
The whole point is to share these stories of surviving as a creative person.
Yeah,
and
for
you've
sure.
clearly been surviving.
Man, shout out to all you creative people because you definitely have to stick with it and yeah. So shout out to you guys, to us. Don't give up.
Hey, it's you've only failed when you give up.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when your name gets stolen on Instagram.
Right.
Damn. Too nice. Whatever.
Well, let them know where to find you now on Instagram.
Okay, Zavala Music. So, but the music is with a Z. So Zavala Music, Music. Zavala Music on Instagram. That's right.
Well, thank you again.
Yes.
Give her a follow if you haven't already.
Thank you. Oh, wait. Oh my God. Can I announce one thing though too?
Yeah.
So anyway, I know my sister's going to kick my butt. So throughout this whole time too, I'm part of a nonprofit. It's called Ignite the Light of Hope. So I did it back at home. In our community, somewhere in San Fernando, Pucallpa. And we've been doing it for 3 years. We'll go to Tijuana and we'll do food distribution and take them clothing and all these wellness stuff. Anyway, so we've been doing a lot of good stuff. And this year I'm really excited because I'm finally using my music, connections and all that. So we're putting a music charity event in July.
Where's it at?
Yeah, it's going to be in Santa Clarita. So it's in the 8-Way area. It's going to be fun. I have all my DJ homies and stuff and my friend who I'm a big fan of, the Tina Aldana band. She's so dope. She's powerhouse. She sings everything. She actually plays that Disney California Adventure.
Okay.
She's popular out there. And she does a Selena tribute. Anyway, she's amazing. Anyway, she's dope. Okay. So she does from Shaka Khan to Prince to Aerosmith, Santana, Selena. And then I'm going to have my buddy, Jamark, who's a reggae singer. And then my other DJs, do you know DJ Azul? I got DJ Rao, DJ Jenna's coming through. And then my friend DJ JTJ. So all the homies are coming through for a good cause. And the vibe is going to be Sunday, it's from 4 to 9. It's going to be a fun event. So I'm excited to do that. Hopefully it turns out well, which I know it is. And I want to continue that, throughout the years. Right. And have you. Yeah. A part of it.
If you need
for
more
the
sets
next
to
one.
fill. Yeah. More sets to fill, someone to take pictures or run a camera.
Yeah, no, it's just everybody just coming together for a good cause, So I'm really excited about that. So Zavala Music, my info is on there and come through. It's gonna be nice.
Yes. Well, thank you again.
All right, thank you. So much fun.
And we'll see you all next time.
Peace out.
Peace.